now my question is for Rosie, and this is the most asked question to us from one IP. How many sellers can provide their services? For example, I have an internet connection and a router at my home. I am a seller, and my sister wants to work on Fiverr also. Is it allowed?
Thanks for that question. Of course, more than one person in a household can sign up. You just need your own login credentials. And if possible, if you have your own payment login as well, we recommend using your own credentials as well, so that it doesn't cause any red flags where we think it might be the same person signing up more than once. But of course, you're more than welcome to have more than one person in the same household sign up.
So the device should
yeah,
be
we are yeah, please, fine, please.
Does the device device can be the same, or device
Yes.
should be different?
Yes. Yeah.
But we see many people lost their accounts by the reason is a multiple restriction.
They lose their accounts for using the same device, you're saying?
Yes, I see many reports about this. I don't know they are using different person account, or I think they have some issues with the right information. And thank you for clear that. So Sultan.
So in cases like that, if they're wrongfully removed from the platform because they are two individual people or three or whatever many there are in a household, then they should definitely reach out to customer support for a wrongful removal.
Okay, generally we are getting this information from the customer support that two people can join from the same household, even using the same internet connection, but they have to provide the different category of services. Like, if I'm a designer, my brother cannot provide the same service. Like, he has to be something like development or videography or something else. So this is what we're getting from the customer care most of the time. Even I'm having the screenshots as well. So I don't know. So clarify this, one more time, that what are the realities and what we should do. Even I'm having, like, we're three brothers. Okay, we're three brothers. We're multi-talented. Okay, so what if we have multiple accounts? I mean, 3 accounts in the same house. We're using the same Wi-Fi router under the same internet connection, and with a different device or the same device. So how you think this is possible or not?
Well, it should be possible. You may have the same niches. You may have the same ability, which is why I said I recommend, if at all, to use your own payment credentials and obviously your own logins. If for some reason you're being wrongfully flagged, then that should definitely be discussed on the back end, and I can take it outside of here and get back to Marcy as well with more information, but you should not be terminated for having the same type of services.
Okay, now what's happening here, we are with huge population, as you know. So like we have a building and the building is full of freelancers. Like we are living like this, like individual people living and so many people, like in one apartment, we're living like more than 10 to 12 guys or maybe girls. And they're trying to, earn by themselves. And the whole building is, as a shelter, working as a shelter. So we have more than like 40 to 50 people living under the same building. And probably we are having the same internet connection. ISP provider. So in this area. So we are taking the same connection, all of us, most of us, because we have one and only provider here. So if we do, some of us, we do like graphic design, some of us, we do web development. So you're saying it's completely fine. No issue should be, no.
It should be fine. You're
as
all
as
Yeah.
eligible people.
as
You should
long
all be able to participate.
as long we are using a different login and a different payment option,
Correct.
there is no worries about get
Using
banned.
the same IP? No, none.
Okay, so thank
Okay,
you
so
for
here I think, yeah,
sharing
thank
about
you.
this.
We should really, this is a great concern, seriously, trust me, because no, nothing is from us. This is from community. As I told you, like we're having like 4 to 6,000 posts every month. So we know that the scenario, what happening here. So many accounts are getting banned for using multiple accounts, but they're not doing using any multiple accounts that we know actually. So I think we should talk about this later, or you guys should gather all the informations and pass through us. Then it would be really great, I guess, for us and for the people.
So if
So I think
there's Sultan or Fahim, maybe if you can gather some examples of people in your community that this has happened to, so that way we can go ahead and take a look and see exactly what's going on, then that would be helpful as well.
yeah, digging those profiles would be better, to know the real scenario, the what actually happening with
Yeah.
their profiles. Yes. Okay, we will do that.
So
Don't worry.
so we can note some example if someone get wrong by customer support. So I can share it with Marcy, and Marcy will
Yeah.
share it to Rosie, and you can check and take a step for us.
Yeah,
Yes.
that sounds great. And also, just to kind of echo what Rosie said, a huge part of this webinar is also us getting feedback from you all. So if there is a question that we're not able to answer perfectly right now, we can continue this conversation. This doesn't have to be confined to like an hour and a half.
Yes,
So
as I connected with Mercy, and we talk regularly about our communities.
absolutely. Yeah. So please know that we're so happy to be answering these questions for you, but it's just as important for us to get this feedback from your community too. So please know that if you do have questions that we're not able to answer now, we can take those offline too.
Okay, so actually I wanted to ask these questions after the translation part, but as this is the same question, similar question about the IP, as you know that, I want to add this question here with this question. Okay, the same person like Rosie, okay, our old favorite. Okay, so IPs are different. Like we have in my place, my country, we are having two types of IPs. One is like shared IPs, that one IP sharing with multiple people, and another is the dedicated IP. That means I'm using my own IP, and that won't change ever. Okay, so most of the time we're having shared IPs. So those IPs are changing, frequently. Like, today I'm using IP1, and maybe tomorrow I'm using IP3, or maybe day after tomorrow I'm going using IP5 or something like that. And when I'm using IP1, and with me there are lots of people using the same IP. It doesn't mean that those people are living in my building. It doesn't mean, or doesn't necessary. So maybe they're living some other place, or they're my neighbors. Even I don't even know they're using my IP. So sometimes this is also happening, like, in the same territory, in the same place, people are using the same IP and they're getting banned. So the same question, actually, you already answered. Just I want to add this part as well. So it was my question, because it's not about the family members, they're using the same IP or working with us, but it's also happening sometimes, maybe like I'm using a shared IP, maybe my neighbor using the same IP, in the capital, like where I'm living. So we are having some jam-prone territory where we have lots of freelancers living together in one area. So that's happening frequently when we are having a lot of people, they're working on Fiverr. Fiverr is a hot market these days, so everybody wants to work on Fiverr. So this is the problem sometimes happening. People are using the same IP as a shared IP, not dedicated, because it's not available everywhere. Some provider unable to provide the dedicated IP to everyone because they're having limitations of IP. So this is also happening. I'm just telling you, just using the same IP, they're getting banned sometimes. The reason is same, like using multiple accounts. That's also happening. People are complaining about that. So I want to add this part as well. Okay, now I want to go to the translate part. Okay, so এখানে বড় একটা ব্যাপার যেটা আমরা জানলাম, এটা আসলে খুবই শকিং, ডেফিনেটলি শকিং, যেটা আমরা জানতাম যে মাল্টিপল অ্যাকাউন্ট হওয়ার কারণে যাদের আইডি ব্যান হচ্ছে। তো উনি যেটা বললো যে একই বাসায় অথবা একই জায়গায় বা একই বিল্ডিং এ একই ইন্টারনেট ইউজ করে একাধিক সেম সার্ভিস দেয়া যাবে, যদি আমাদের পেমেন্ট মেথড আলাদা হয়, আমাদের লগ ইন আলাদা হয়। ঠিক আছে, যে আমার আইডি একটা, আমার আইডি আমার নামে, আমার পেমেন্ট মেথড আলাদা, আমার সবকিছুই আলাদা। সো আমি
এমনকি সেম ডিভাইস
এই বাসায় বসে, হ্যাঁ, এই বাসায় বসে আমি অ্যাকাউন্ট আমার চালাতে পারবো, এবং আমার ভাইও আমার কম্পিউটার ইউজ করে একটা সেম সার্ভিস কিন্তু দিতে পারছে। আমি ডিজাইনার, আমার ভাইও চাইলে আমার পিসি ইউজ করে সে ডিফারেন্ট লগ ইন করে, অন্য আইডি থেকে লগ ইন করে সে কিন্তু একই সার্ভিস দিতে পারছে। আমি ডিজাইনার, সেও ডিজাইনার, আমি ডেভেলপার, সেও ডেভেলপার। এটা অ্যামেজিং একটা ব্যাপার, যেটা আমরা এতদিন ভুল জানতাম। বাট এটা নিয়ে কিছু কনফিউশন আছে, যেটা ওনারা কিছু স্যাম্পল চাইলেন আমাদের কাছে, যে যারা যারা এই প্রবলেমটা হয়েছে, যাদের আইডি ব্যান হয়েছে বা মাল্টিপল অ্যাকাউন্ট থাকার কারণে যারা মাল্টিপল অ্যাকাউন্ট ইউজ করেননি, বা এরকম সমস্যার সম্মুখীন যারা হয়েছেন, তাদের কিছু স্যাম্পল আমরা কালেক্ট করে এখন ওনাদের সাথে ইন ফিউচারে কথা বলে দেখা যাবে যে এটা আসলে মানে যেটাকে বলে যে তলিয়ে দেখা, এটা আমরা
ওনারা সমাধান করবে, ওনারা এটা সমাধান
এটা করা হবে
আশ্বাস দিয়েছেন।
তবে যাদের এরকম হচ্ছে ইমিডিয়েটলি কাস্টমার কেয়ারে টোটালি কথাটা বলে আপনাদেরকে কিন্তু এটা মেইল করতে হবে, ওদেরকে জানাতে হবে। এখানে একটা ব্যাপার আমি অবশ্যই বলে রাখি, আমি আগেও বলেছি, এখনো বলছি, যে যে কথাগুলো আপনারা কাস্টমার কেয়ারে বলবেন, এটা কিন্তু টু দি পয়েন্ট হতে হবে, সুন্দর করে সাজিয়ে গুছিয়ে ইংলিশে বলতে হবে। কিন্তু যে এটা যদি বলতে না পারেন, যে আধো আধো বলে যদি আপনি বলেন, ওরাও বুঝবে না, ওরাও ডাইসার একটা উত্তর দিবে, আর আমরাও কিন্তু বেনিফিটেড হব না।